Chosen one, listen carefully, this message you about to hear. Chosen one, you will not struggle with money again. You did not click this by accident. Something inside you was pulled here. A quiet knowing that this message is different. A knowing that this is not motivation, this is confirmation. What you are about to hear was hidden on purpose, and only those who are ready can receive it. For a long time you have wondered why money felt complicated, delayed, blocked. You worked harder than others yet felt unseen. This was never punishment. This was preparation. The struggle was not meant to break you. It was meant to awaken you. And once you see what I am about to reveal, the fear around money will lose its power over you. The different path. You were never designed to walk the same road as everyone else. Your soul chose a different path long before you were born. While others chased comfort, you chased meaning. This is why traditional systems never fit you. Jobs felt draining. Routines felt suffocating. You felt guilty for wanting more without knowing why. Money did not flow easily because you were not meant to chase it. You were meant to align with it. The moment you stop comparing your journey to others, abundance begins to recognize you. Why money tested you? Money tested you because it reveals who you truly are. It exposed your fears, your patience, your faith. It forced you to confront your beliefs about worth. Every delay was shaping your discipline. Every setback was teaching detachment. You were learning not to worship money, but to master it. Chosen ones are tested more because they are trusted with more. When the lesson is complete, the test ends permanently. The awakening signal. There comes a moment when something shifts internally. You stop panicking about survival. You stop begging life for relief. Instead, you start observing. You start trusting. You start noticing patterns lining up in your favor. This is not coincidence. This is activation. Your nervous system is learning safety, and money responds to safety. Why others seem ahead. You have watched others rise faster with less depth. It confused you. It hurt you. It made you doubt yourself. But shallow roots grow fast and collapse faster. Deep roots take time and last generations. Your abundance is designed to be sustainable, not flashy. You are being prepared for overflow without destruction. The silent suppression. Society rewards obedience, not awakening. When you started questioning systems, you felt resistance, labels, rejection, isolation. This was intentional. Awakened minds threaten profit-driven structures. So you were pushed to the margins to protect the illusion. But what they tried to bury is what will elevate you. The money myth you were taught. You were taught money comes from struggle, stress, and sacrifice. That belief kept you stuck. Chosen ones operate under a different law. Alignment creates opportunity. Integrity attracts provision. When your actions match your soul, resources follow naturally. You are stepping out of survival and into stewardship. The shift from lack. Lack was never your reality, it was your perspective. You were looking at life through wounds, not wisdom. Once healing begins, your decisions change. Your standards rise, your energy stabilizes. Money responds to clarity. And clarity is now your default state. The power of intention. Your thoughts were never random. Every intention you held shaped your financial timeline. When you stopped wishing and started deciding, everything changed. Decision is authority. Authority invites provision. This is why things are moving now. The role of patience. You were trained in patience because impatience destroys abundance. You learn to wait without quitting, to trust without seeing. That level of discipline is rare. And rare energy attracts rare opportunities. When struggle ends. Struggle ends when you stop identifying with it. The moment you say this is no longer my story, life adjusts. Money follows identity. Your identity has shifted permanently. Why this time is different. You have felt this before, but this time it feels grounded, calm, certain. That is because this is not hope, this is readiness. You are no longer asking if abundance will come. You are preparing space to hold it. The signs around you. New ideas are coming effortlessly. Conversations feel aligned. Doors open unexpectedly. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Your environment is responding to your frequency. This is how provision announces itself. The end of fear. Fear was the last chain. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of visibility. Once fear loosens, flow begins. You are no longer hiding your gifts. And what you reveal gets rewarded. Why you felt isolated. Isolation was necessary for clarity. Noise blocks intuition. You needed silence to hear direction. Now the instructions are clear. And clarity creates confidence. The abundance responsibility. You are not meant to hoard wealth. You are meant to circulate impact. That is why your heart stayed sensitive. Money flows best through those who serve purpose. And you are purpose-driven by nature. The moment of trust. There is a point where effort steps back and trust steps forward. You are there now. This is where miracles feel natural. Because resistance is gone. Why you stop worrying. Worry was based on uncertainty. Certainty dissolves worry. You now know provision is part of your path. Not because of luck, but alignment. This knowing changes everything. The new relationship with money. Money is no longer emotional for you. It is a tool, a resource, a responsibility. This neutrality gives you power. Power creates consistency. The era of RCVNG. You have given enough, learned enough, endured enough. Now it is time to receive without guilt. Receiving is not greed, it is balance. Balance sustains abundance. Why this message found you. Not everyone is ready for this truth. Some would misuse it, others would fear it. You recognized it. Because you are prepared. The closing activation. From this moment forward, you stop chasing money. You move with purpose and let provision catch up. This is the chosen one path. And it never returns to lack. Return to awakening call. If this message spoke to you, it is because you are waking up. Do not walk this path alone. Like this video, comment your confirmation, and subscribe to Return to Awakening. Your journey is just beginning, and abundance is now part of it, the quiet realization. One day you noticed the anxiety fading. Bills no longer controlled your mood. Numbers stopped defining your worth. This calm did not come from having more. It came from knowing more. Knowing that provision is not random. Knowing that you are supported when you walk correctly. When alignment locks in. Alignment is when your inner world and outer actions finally agree. You stop saying yes to what drains you. You stop betraying your values for comfort. This integrity stabilizes your life. Stability attracts steady income, not chaotic money. Why old doors closed? Opportunities fell apart before they could succeed. At the time, it felt like failure. But those paths required compromise. They demanded pieces of you that were not for sale. Protection sometimes looks like loss. Now you understand why those doors had to close. The inner authority. You no longer ask everyone for advice. You feel guidance internally. This inner authority is priceless. It saves you from costly mistakes. When you trust it, decisions become clean and effective. Clean decisions create clean outcomes. The shift in self-worth. You stopped undervaluing your time. You stopped overgiving to prove your goodness. This boundary changed everything. Money respects boundaries. And now it meets you at your level. Why speed does not matter. You are no longer in a rush. Desperation repels abundance. Calm confidence invites it. You move steadily, not frantically. And steady movement builds real wealth. The energy of deserving. You once questioned if you deserved ease. That question is gone. You know your struggles paid the price already. Deserving is not arrogance, it is recognition. Recognition unlocks receiving. When purpose meets provision. Your gifts were never meant to starve you. They were meant to sustain you and others. When you use them sincerely, support appears. Purpose carries its own supply. The end of comparison. You stopped watching others to measure yourself. Comparison was draining your focus and distorting your timing. Now you stay in your lane. Your lane is finally clear. The long view. You think in years now, not weeks. This long vision changes your choices. Short-term temptations lose their appeal. Long-term abundance becomes inevitable. The stability code. You choose consistency over excitement. This choice protects your energy. Protected energy compounds. And compounding creates freedom. When discipline feels natural, discipline no longer feels forced. It feels like self-respect. Self-respect multiplies resources. Because you manage what you value. The subtle CONFRMATUNS. Small wins start appearing, unexpected help perfect timing. These are signals, not accidents. Life is responding to your posture. A posture of trust and responsibility. The inner silence. Your mind is quieter now, less noise, less panic. Silence sharpens intuition. Intuition prevents loss. And prevention is a form of gain. Why this phase lasts? This is not a temporary high. It is a stabilized state. You built the foundation properly. Foundations do not disappear. The respect of time. You stopped wasting hours. Time became sacred. What you do with time determines income. Focused time produces multiplied results. This is the unseen advantage you carry. The moment you stopped proving, you no longer need to prove your value. Peace replaces performance. Peace attracts the right opportunities. Opportunities that respect you. The integrity factor. You refuse shortcuts that compromise character. This protects your future. Integrity keeps money clean. Clean money stays. The new normal. What once felt impossible now feels expected. Not because you are entitled, but because you are aligned. Alignment sustains abundance, the DEPER confidence. You trust yourself in ways you never did before. This confidence is quiet, not loud. It does not seek approval or applause. It simply moves forward without hesitation. When fear loses its voice, fear still appears, but it no longer commands you. You acknowledge it and continue anyway. This is mastery, not the absence of fear. Mastery attracts stability. The rewrite of destiny. You realize destiny is not fixed, it is activated. Choices awaken timelines. You chose growth over comfort. That choice altered everything. The end of self-sabotage. Old habits tried to return, but they felt foreign. You could no longer betray your future for familiarity. Awareness made going backward uncomfortable. This is how evolution locks in. The new language you speak. You speak with clarity now. You no longer over-explain or justify. Clear speech reflects clear thinking. Clear thinking creates clean outcomes. When money stops defining you, money is no longer your identity. This detachment gave you leverage. What does not control you can serve you. Service creates sustainability. The freedom of saying no. You say no without guilt. This protects your focus. Protected focus compounds value. Value attracts compensation. The recognition from others. People sense something different about you. They may not name it, but they respect it. Respect opens doors words cannot. Doors open naturally now. The calm decision-making. You no longer decide from urgency. You pause, assess, and act deliberately. Deliberate actions reduce regret. Regret-free paths build wealth. The weight lifted. A heavy pressure you carried for years dissolved. You realized you are not behind. You are exactly on schedule. This relief restores energy. The return of creativity. Ideas flow again. Not forced, not desperate. Creative flow is a sign of safety. Safety attracts opportunity. The internal order. Your thoughts feel organized. Your priorities feel aligned. Order creates efficiency. Efficiency multiplies results. The loss of chaos. Drama no longer excites you. Chaos feels exhausting now. Peace became your preference. Peace is profitable. The natural leadership. Others look to you without you trying. Your calm steadiness guides them. Leadership emerges organically. Leadership creates influence. The value of stillness. You learned when not to move. Stillness prevents costly mistakes. Patience saves resources. Saved resources grow. The respect for process. You trust the process without rushing it. You know shortcuts cost more later. Process protects outcomes. Protected outcomes last. The sense of direction. You wake up with clarity. Even without all answers, you know the next step. Direction removes anxiety. Anxiety-free movement is powerful. The release of old identities. You are no longer who you used to be. Old labels no longer fit. Growth demands shedding. Shedding creates space. The space for more. This space is not emptiness. It is readiness. Readiness attracts fulfillment. Fulfillment stabilizes abundance, the quiet moment of arrival. There is a moment when you realize you are no longer chasing. Life is meeting you where you stand. This arrival is subtle, not dramatic. But it is permanent. When effort becomes flow. You still work, but it no longer feels heavy. Action feels synchronized instead of forced. This is flow state. Flow multiplies output without draining you. The new standard. You raised your standards without announcing it. Low-quality opportunities fall away naturally. What remains is aligned and respectful. This is how your environment upgrades. The trust in timing. You no longer fight delays. You understand timing protects alignment. Being early or late both cost. Right timing preserves energy. The inner compass. You rely on inner signals more than external noise. This compass is accurate because it is calibrated by experience. Experience refined your judgment. Refined judgment protects abundance. The end of overthinking. Your mind learned when to rest. Overthinking lost its grip. Clarity replaced mental loops. Clarity saves time and money. The energy of certainty. Certainty has a frequency. It stabilizes emotions. Stable emotions support consistency. Consistency builds security. The shift in RLATONSHIPS. Some connections faded naturally. Others deepened unexpectedly. Alignment rearranges people. The right people support growth. The pattern recognition. You see cycles before they repeat. This awareness prevents repetition of loss. Learning became integrated wisdom. Wisdom compounds quietly. The embodied confidence. You do not just think differently. You move differently. Your posture, tone, and presence shifted. Presence commands value. The loss of urgency. Nothing feels like a last chance anymore. This removes pressure from decisions. Pressure distorts judgment. Calm produces precision. The refined focus. You do fewer things but better. This precision increases impact. Impact creates demand. Demand sustains income. The understanding of energy. You protect your energy deliberately. You no longer leak it through stress. Energy is currency. Wise spending increases returns. The quiet power. You do not announce your plans. You execute in silence. Silence protects momentum. Momentum attracts results. The relief of knowing. You finally know you will be okay. Not because of optimism, because of alignment and preparation. This knowing anchors you. The new relationship with risk. You take calculated risks, not emotional ones. Risk becomes strategic. Strategy reduces loss. Reduced loss accelerates growth. The internal safety net. You built inner stability first. External stability followed. This order is unshakable. Unshakable systems last. The peaceful awareness. You are present more often. Presence increases effectiveness. Effectiveness builds results. Results reinforce trust. The readiness for more. You sense more is coming. Not from craving but capacity. Capacity determines scale. Scale follows readiness, the quiet certainty. You no longer ask if abundance is possible. You know it is part of your design. This certainty sits deep, beyond emotion. It stabilizes every decision you make. When doubt can't stay, doubt tries to revisit, but it has no place to land. Your foundation is too solid now. You have evidence in your own growth. Growth silences uncertainty. The maturity of discernment. You sense truth faster. You feel when something is off. Discernment saves you from costly paths. Protection is also provision. The loss of desperation. Nothing feels urgent anymore. Desperation once clouded your choices. Calm restored your vision. Clear vision attracts clear outcomes. The embedded discipline. You act even when you don't feel like it. This consistency builds reliability. Reliability creates trust. Trust invites opportunity. The inner wealth. You feel rich internally before seeing it externally. This inner wealth changes your posture. Posture influences opportunity. Opportunity responds to confidence. The end of chaotic CYCLES. You broke patterns that ran in your family line. Scarcity no longer repeats through you. You became the interruption. Interruption creates new legacy. The embodied patience. Waiting no longer feels like wasting time. You understand preparation happens quietly. Quiet preparation prevents collapse. Collapse-proof systems last. The simplicity shift. You crave simplicity over excess. This removes unnecessary expenses. Simplicity preserves resources. Preserved resources grow. The strength of routine. Your routines stabilize your days. Stability increases productivity. Productivity compounds income. Compound growth creates freedom. The comfort with visibility. You no longer hide your value. You allow yourself to be seen. Visibility attracts recognition. Recognition opens doors. The emotional regulation. You manage reactions with awareness. Emotional control prevents impulsive loss. Control is a form of power. Power attracts consistency. The trust in self. You trust your ability to adapt. This removes fear of loss. Adaptability protects income. Protection sustains abundance. The strategic rest. You rest without guilt. Rest restores clarity. Clarity improves execution. Execution increases results. The realization of capacity. You realized you can hold more than you thought. Responsibility no longer scares you. Capacity determines blessing. Your capacity expanded. The quiet expansion. Your life is expanding without chaos. Growth feels natural, not overwhelming. This balance is rare. Balance sustains wealth, the stability within. You are no longer shaken by small setbacks. Your center holds steady. Stability allows you to respond, not react. Response preserves momentum. The detachment from OUTCOMES. You act without clinging to results. This detachment removes pressure. Pressure once blocked flow. Now flow moves freely. The refined intuition. Your intuition speaks clearly now. Not through fear but through calm knowing. You listen without questioning. Listening saves time and energy. The end of proving value. You stop trying to convince the world of your worth. You let your work speak quietly. Quiet excellence attracts attention. Attention invites opportunity. The strong inner BOUNDRAS. You guard your time fiercely. You choose where your energy goes. Boundaries protect focus. Focus multiplies results. The loss of imposter syndrome. You no longer feel like an outsider in your own life. You belong where you are. Belonging restores confidence. Confidence stabilizes growth. The alignment of action. Your actions now match your intentions. This congruence creates power. Power simplifies progress. Progress builds trust in self. The peace with uncertainty. You accept not knowing everything. Uncertainty no longer creates fear. Faith replaces control. Faith keeps you moving forward. The embodied gratitude. Gratitude feels natural, not forced. You notice abundance in subtle forms. Awareness amplifies supply. Supply responds to appreciation. The release of old fears. Fears that once ruled you feel distant. They no longer define choices. Freedom replaces hesitation. Freedom accelerates expansion. The SOFTNING of resistance. You stopped fighting life. Resistance once drained your strength. Acceptance restored your power. Power invites alignment. The internal rhythm. You move at a pace that feels right. Not rushed, not delayed. Rhythm creates sustainability. Sustainability supports longevity. The quiet self-respect. You honor your limits without guilt. Self-respect deepens stability. Stability attracts reliability. Reliability brings consistency. The end of scarcity thinking. You no longer expect loss. You plan from abundance. Abundant planning produces expansive outcomes. Expansion becomes natural. The sense of grounded hope. Hope now feels calm and rooted. Not wishful, not desperate. Grounded hope builds patience. Patience protects progress, the internal ordering. Your inner world feels organized. Thoughts line up instead of colliding. Order reduces friction. Reduced friction increases efficiency. The quiet resilience. Challenges still appear, but they no longer shake you. You bend without breaking. Resilience preserves progress. Progress compounds quietly. The trust in your value. You no longer discount yourself. You honor what you bring to the table. Valuing yourself sets the price. The world responds accordingly. The loss of overexposure. You stopped sharing everything with everyone. Privacy protected your momentum. Protected momentum builds strength. Strength attracts respect. The natural authority. You speak less, but your words land deeper. Presence carries weight now. Authority is felt, not announced. Felt authority opens paths. The emotional neutrality. Highs no longer intoxicate you. Lows no longer discourage you. Neutrality creates balance. Balance sustains clarity. The clarity of PRITIS. You know what matters and what doesn't. Distractions lost their appeal. Focused attention increases output. Output generates stability. The pattern of follow-through. You finish what you start. Completion builds confidence. Confidence accelerates trust. Trust brings opportunity. The quiet self-reliance. You rely on yourself without isolating. This balance strengthens independence. Independence reduces fear. Fearlessness invites expansion. The strength of consistency. Small actions repeated daily changed everything. Consistency outperformed intensity. Intensity fades, consistency stays. Staying power builds wealth. The acceptance of growth pain. You no longer resent discomfort. You recognize it as expansion. Expansion requires pressure. Pressure forges capacity. The grounded ambition. Your ambition is calm and intentional. Not frantic, not reckless. Grounded ambition sustains energy. Sustained energy builds legacies. The end of self-doubt loops. You no longer spiral in indecision. Decisions feel clean and final. Finality restores momentum. Momentum creates movement. The quiet confidence in the future. You don't need reassurance anymore. You trust what you're building. Trust stabilizes vision. Vision directs provision, the inner foundation. You finally built from the inside out. Not image, not noise, not pressure. Foundation determines how high you rise. Yours is solid now. The loss of rushed DCSINS. You no longer leap to escape discomfort. You wait, assess, and choose wisely. Wisdom protects resources. Protection sustains growth. The quiet mental strength. Your mind no longer tires easily. Mental endurance replaced emotional swings. Endurance supports consistency. Consistency builds reliability. The release of external validation. Praise no longer fuels you. Criticism no longer drains you. You are self-referenced now. Self-reference creates independence. The stability of self-image. You see yourself clearly. Not inflated, not diminished. Accurate self-image improves decisions. Improved decisions shape outcomes. The end of emotional spending. You no longer spend to soothe wounds. Awareness broke that cycle. Conscious spending preserves capital. Preserved capital compounds. The embodied discipline. You do what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. Discipline is invisible power. Invisible power creates visible results. The acceptance of responsibility. You stopped blaming circumstances. Ownership returned control to you. Control increases effectiveness. Effectiveness builds confidence. The respect for energy exchange. You no longer give where there is no return. Balance replaced overgiving. Balanced exchange sustains flow. Flow supports longevity. The quiet alignment. Your actions feel correct before results appear. This inner confirmation guides you. Guidance prevents missteps. Fewer missteps preserve momentum. The calm approach to problems. Problems no longer trigger panic. They activate solutions. Solution-focused thinking saves time. Saved time multiplies opportunity. The release of financial fear. Money no longer triggers emotional reactions. Neutrality restored control. Control improves strategy. Strategy creates security. The growth of inner trust. You trust yourself to figure things out. This trust removes fear of the unknown. Fearlessness expands capacity. Expanded capacity attracts provision. The long-term orientation. You think beyond immediate reward. This patience reshapes outcomes. Long-term vision protects wealth. Protected wealth endures. The quiet readiness. You feel prepared without forcing anything. Nothing feels rushed. Readiness attracts opportunity. Opportunity recognizes you. The deep ROOTING. You stopped building on temporary ground. Everything now rests on principles, not impulses. Roots grow where patience lives. Deep roots hold heavy blessings. The loss of chaotic motivation. You no longer rely on bursts of inspiration. You move from commitment instead. Commitment outlasts emotion. Outlasting creates stability. The silent self-assurance. You don't announce confidence. It is sensed in how you move. Self-assurance reduces friction. Reduced friction increases flow. The calm relationship with time. Time is no longer your enemy. You work with it, not against it. Respect for time increases returns. Returns compound quietly. The shift in self-talk. Your inner voice became supportive. Harshness dissolved into clarity. Clear inner dialogue strengthens action. Strengthened action builds results. The end of financial shame. You released guilt around wanting ease. Ease is not weakness. Ease allows focus on purpose. Purpose attracts provision. The natural self-leadership. You lead your days intentionally. Structure replaced chaos. Structured days increase output. Output stabilizes income. The quiet confidence in DCSONS. You make choices without second-guessing. Confidence shortens learning curves. Shorter curves accelerate mastery. Mastery attracts opportunity. The loss of drama. You no longer entertain unnecessary conflict. Peace became non-negotiable. Peace preserves energy. Energy fuels creation. The awareness of value creation. You focus on creating real value. Value solves problems. Problem-solving generates demand. Demand sustains wealth. The patience with RSULTS. You no longer demand instant proof. You trust consistent effort. Consistency always pays. Payment arrives in waves. The internal balance. Work and rest coexist now. Balance prevents burnout. Burnout once blocked growth. Balanced systems scale. The quiet evolution. You changed without forcing it. Growth became natural. Natural growth lasts. Lasting growth multiplies. The embodied gratitude for process. You appreciate each step. Process taught you mastery. Mastery creates freedom. Freedom expands capacity, the final activation. If you felt this message instead of just hearing it, that is your confirmation. This was not content. This was alignment speaking to you directly. You are no longer waiting for abundance. You are ready to hold it. And readiness is what changes everything. The moment of decision. Awakening only becomes real when you choose it. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The path opens when you step forward without fear. And you are standing at that point right now. The claiming of identity. You are not lost, you are not late, you are not broken. You are a chosen one who survived preparation. Money will no longer control your emotions or your future. From this moment forward, you move with certainty. The power move. Do not let this message pass without anchoring it. Like this video to lock in this activation. Comment with conviction so your intention becomes real. And subscribe to Return to Awakening so you stay aligned with your calling. The continued journey. This channel exists for those who are waking up. For those who refuse to return to fear, lack, or confusion. Stay connected, stay aware, stay ready. Your next level is already responding to you.